Third question 83. A. No, sir. However, at times, scarcity may occur due to reduction of discharge of water sources of Tura Phase 1 and 3 water supply scheme during the lean season and inability of Tura Phase 2 water supply scheme to generate the required quantity of water. B, sir, does not arise in view at A above. C, sir, no, sir, the residents are charged the rate for buying water as follows. Tank capacity of 10,000 liters at the rate 3,000 within Tura town. Tank capacity of 6,000 liters at the rate of 2,000 within Tura town. And tank capacity of 1,500 liters at the rate of 800 within Tura town.
While listening to the reply of the Honorable Minister, I could see that the reply is not correct. It is not correct because at the first instance, the Honorable Minister replied in negative. But the fact is, there is acute scarcity of water in entire Tura town. I think lots of honorable members who are residing in Tura will agree, including the Honorable Chief Minister. It's a fact. So, and reply to C. There also no, sir. That means the rate indicated here by while replying by the Honorable Minister is not exorbitant. So, may I know from the Honorable Minister whether he will correct this reply?
Sir, I think the reply, we have not denied the fact that during the lean season, during the non-monsoon time, there was a problem. And we have stated also. And regarding the reply at C, sir, according to the department, the rate charge is reasonable. So I think that is the reply meant, that the rate is reasonable according to the quantity of water that is being provided to people, to those people who need water on payment basis.
Mr. Speaker, sir, water is very essential for us. Without water, we cannot survive even a single day. So, in the entire Tura town, of course, the problem of water scarcity is everywhere. It is a global issue now. But the kind of situation for the water scarcity in Tura is very, very acute, and it needs attention of the government. We are subjected to buy, even during rainy season. The Honorable Minister has said that during only lean period, the scarcity of water is there. But again, I am reiterating that during even rainy season, the monsoon season, acute scarcity of water is there. Even whenever I go to water, here I go to Tura, I used to buy water for 2,000 and above every day. So in a month, it is coming more than 60,000. The people who cannot afford, how they will survive? That's the question. And this is the rate fixed by the PHE department maybe. Since PHE department cannot cater to the demand for the entire town, there are lots of private operators who are supplying self-drinking water, and they are charging exorbitantly. It's a fact. So whether the government is trying to do something whereby it can cater to all the demands.
Sir, I must thank the concern of honorable members from Rangsakona about the water crisis at Tura town. And I hope this question brought, it will really benefit everybody, including the local MLA of Tura town and the people of Tura town as a whole. Sir, the department and the government as a whole, we are very keen, and we really want to see that people in the state should get enough drinking water. So we will take all the necessary steps to ensure that people in the state get sufficient drinking water. And particularly for Tura, the department has taken steps to send a fresh proposal for construction of 10 additional numbers of reservoirs at different locations in the localities under Tura WSS. That is the initiative taken by the department, and the estimate also has been made to 14.37 crores. So this is the action taken by the department, sir, to ensure the people of Tura town get drinking water.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I can understand the problem because of climate change and global warming. This water scarcity problem is across the globe. But again, necessity knows no law. The residents who can afford, they can only buy. Even those residents of Tura town who do not have tankers or reservoir at their respective residence, they cannot stock the water also. That is the practical problem. So whether the government will in future procure enough tankers and distribute water along the roadside so that even those who cannot afford to buy water, the poor people, they can get the water from the tankers in every locality.
Sir, it may not be possible to give water by water tanker to everybody, but the government, the department is taking steps to identify and to know the reason why this water scarcity is happening at Tura. So we are trying to examine and to really come to know the reason for which we know, sir. Number one, the reason is that the reducing discharge of source during the season, as I said. And then also another reason is that the existing power scenario in the state of Meghalaya, where the department are restricting to pump the machines only with a very short period of time, which we cannot pump as required due to the power problem, as we all know. And another reason which we may have to correct is the very fact is that there is a huge quantity of loss of water in the distribution network due to the poor maintenance. I'm sorry to say that, because the network, the distribution network in Tura town, it has been looked after by GHADC. So there was a talk how to solve this problem, because I was told that lots of water leakage, it's there everywhere, and it does not reach to the consumers, to people who need water, because there was leakage everywhere. So I think this is the main reason, sir, and from the department, we will find out to solve this problem in the near future, sir.
Permitted to supplement some of the points mentioned by the Honorable Minister. Tura happens to be my constituency also. So just to add, and so that the knowledge of the members and more importantly the residents of Tura, that when 2018, when we had formed this government, that year itself under NESET's, which is under donor ministry scheme, we had taken up a project worth 35 crores for the augmentation of the Tura water supply scheme. And based on that, the overall supply that was supposed to come into the tanks and into the reservoir and into Tura was supposed to be, at that point in time, sufficient for the supply of Tura town as a whole. And with that objective in mind, that project was taken up and it's been implemented and completed. And in that project, a large number of localities also were given water supply through pipe connection. So it was a major project, and a large relief came in. Now, sir, the last meeting that I had with the PHE department about 3 to 4 months back in Tura, especially when there was a huge scarcity going on around the month of April, May. And this issue was a very, very important issue, and people were really suffering. And at that point in time, sir, as mentioned by the honorable member from Rangsakona, the intake point where they were supposed to, the augmentation project and everything was done, the PHE department informed that the catchment area around the area of the where the water is being sourced, they saw compared to the last years, the drop was much more. So if the same amount 2 to 3 years to 4 years back, the amount of water that they used to see in that particular portion during that particular year had drastically gone down. And so therefore, as correctly mentioned, so there is a huge impact of climate change that is taking place. And obviously, human activity is also adding to that. And there, of course, the PHE then had proposed that we should create another reservoir. Otherwise, the source will not be complete. What I'm trying to say, sir, is that the dynamics and the situations are changing very fast. And no matter what projects we're taking up, it seems that the climate change is moving faster than what we can, act or react to it. And therefore, this acute crisis came up during that time. And we are seeing, sir, that the amount of rainfall also in these past few months has not been the kind it is we used to see before. So there is another worry that maybe in the coming months we will actually see more problem. In the coming years, we will actually see more problem. And that's why there's a very important need to protect our catchment areas, not just Tura, sir, in every town, major town, every major village, and obviously the capital also. So this is the fact of the problem, that there is a huge change in the overall quantity of the water because of climate change. I just want to add one more point, sir, what the honorable member had minister had replied, that the power issue he had mentioned, that also came up in the review meeting. And just for the information of the House, that yes, it was an issue. And but while we were sitting in that meeting, we had given instructions to MECL to ensure that the water, the power line that went to the water pumping, that should not be stopped. So that issue was also resolved in that meeting. Though, of course, it was an issue, as mentioned by the Honorable Minister. It was an issue, but we had taken steps at that point in time. I just wanted to clarify it for the sake of the House. So, Honorable Minister's point is correct, but the steps were taken at that point to change that, sir. So, so I would like to take this opportunity now in this House to send this message to the public in general and to the state as a whole, that water is going to be a major issue for us. No matter how much rainfall we get, ultimately it's the management of the water that's going to matter. Creation of reservoirs, creation of check dams wherever possible, so that we can store the water for lean season. Having rainwater harvesting in all the major buildings and possibly in your houses also, in whatever way, in small, big way you can, very important. Ground table water recharging, very important. All these aspects need to be considered, and most important, protection and rejuvenation of our spring sheds, and also the protection of the water, the catchment areas is key, sir. So these will require not just the government, but the society, the community as a whole to be part of this. And sir, it's not going to be long before we will see a lot of more changes in the overall climate, and things will get quite difficult for us. So this may be the proper time to start acting on this. And I just want to inform the House that we have started, sir. So I know it's going beyond the scope of the question, but I think I thought this was a good opportunity to express. We have recently just been cleared an EAP, an externally aided project of almost close to 500 crores, where we'll be creating all these different spring sheds, we'll be protecting the catchment areas, we'll be creating reservoirs. So a massive project in that line has been cleared. And with that project, I don't remember the exact amount, but these are the steps we're taking. But as I said, sir, it's not just the government. the society as a whole will have to realize that this is an issue that concerns all of us, and do whatever we can to save water, preserve water, and manage it in a better manner, sir. So I just wanted to add this supplement to this particular issue from the perspective of the state as a whole, sir.